Well, hi everyone. Welcome. I'm very, very sorry for, I don't know, disappearing, dropping off the map, not being around a whole lot these last couple of months. I really do promise I'm gonna do better. I really am. Hansen, hi, welcome. So, we are on a brand new map, brand new world, because the other one's having some weird little glitching issues that I don't want to deal with today. I just want to build. So here we are. I'm good. How are you doing? I noticed that you're doing all sorts of little tests on your channel. So does that mean that you're going to be putting out videos and streaming soon? Alright, let's get a good aerial view. Ooh, that's a lemon tree. Tells us something about, yep, look at that. That looks like a savanna biome right over there. So this looks like a good spot. Now the question is, are we anywhere near water? Anywhere near? I see desert way over there. So far, I don't see water. I want to settle near water. Sorted out the issues. Good. Very good. So I'm thinking what I kind of have in the back of my mind for something I'd like to make is just a nice big, almost like a plantation or a ranch, but not really a town, not really a community, more like one big dedicated thing. Alright, well that looks like the ocean over here, which, cool, but that's not drinking water. Let's see. Let's make sure it's the ocean and not just a big lake. You cannot drink salt water. That's the ocean. Alright. Not that it really matters that much because this is a creative world, so I can just make my own water. And because it's creative, I don't have to worry about like getting thirsty or anything like that. So we just won't worry about settling near water because that's not going to happen. Alright, so want to have room for a good-sized house, a barn, fields. That could, well, I was going to say that could be like a big entranceway. I am still using XSplit. I'll have to try an older version of OBS and see how that goes. Because I don't really want to keep using XSplit. Because like right now, because I haven't paid for it, so I'm using the free version, I can only record and stream in 720p at 30 FPS, or it'll put a giant watermark over it. So, yeah, I want to change that. Okay, so let's build our house kind of at the base of the mountains here. Right over here. Oh yeah, that'd be great. Send me that link. Then I can get that sorted out. Alright, so first off, so I can see what I'm doing here, I'm going to kind of get rid of all of this tall grass. And I think I went past it. There we go. 3. Alright. So this is, we're going to do a fair amount of terraforming with this. After all, It is going to be purely 100% creative. Yeah, whichever works best for you. Okay. So let's say that's our kind of our starting area here. Now I also want to flatten it all out. So let's see, what's a good height? Pick a height that we like here. That looks good. Let's bring everything to that for this little area. And I'm not necessarily going to flatten everything, just kind of some primary building areas. And then I want to get rid of vegetation. Ooh, but first I have to pick up my cat. There you go. Up on the back of the chair. All the way up. All the way up. He doesn't jump. He just, like, half stands there on the chair and looks at you. And after a while, he starts to cry at you if you don't pick him up. Like, I can't do this on my own. You have to help. All right. And then, yeah, Hansen, your question about how I'm getting rid of vegetation. Once I set the start and end points, now my face is covered in cat hair. I just hit delete to get rid of anything in them. But you have to actually get rid of the root of the plant. That's the area that has to be covered in red. So like the base. Otherwise, it just stays. Perfect. I've got your link. Thank you. All right. So, we've got a nice area cleared off for building here. So let's get started. Don't really care about the hammer. One of the things I really like about what they did with creative mode is letting you access everything from right here. So you don't have to build any workstations at all anymore. Now, I think we're nice and close to the beach. So I think we're going to do something a little bit different. And we're going to go with sandstone. I like that look. I like that one. So we're going to have kind of a sandstone base here. Not terribly close to, yeah, probably about here is good to start. All right. Let's get this laid in. Sorry guys, gonna come right through you. You're gonna have to move away. They're like, no, I don't think so. Not going anywhere. And I am going to make a pretty big house. Let's see. Might flatten a little bit more space. I'm going to have to drive all of these guys out of this area here. Nice thing about being on creative mode. He's ignoring me. I don't have to worry about fighting with him. It's always good. They're fast little buggers. You'll be like, oh, it's okay. He's not terribly close. Next thing you know, oops, he's on top of me and he's eating me. I guess he was closer than I thought. All right. Where? Here? Planius? No. Maybe here. Tools? Rolling pin, yes. And the crowbar. I am super excited about this, you guys. This is phenomenal. We finally have a way to disassemble and save. So I'm super excited about that. And I did see on the forums today, somebody had photoshopped in an image of one of the, like, dude, run away from me, not towards me. One of the enemies or whatever from Half-Life 2 with the crowbar. Hey, go. Wow, he's not impressed with me at all. Seriously? Get out of my house, you guys. Good. Now keep going. Alright, who else do I have to chase? You? He's just, like, not impressed with me at all. Wow. Seriously? Okay, by this point in time, I could have just killed him, and we'd have been done with this. Wow. Some animals just pay no attention to you whatsoever. Here, over here, I'm trying to get you out of my house. They're like, no, not going anywhere. I'm just hanging out, never leaving. You will never get rid of me. Let's see. Okay. One glitch that I would really like for Red to fix is that. He's in the middle of the block. Really? We need that fixed. Dear Red, please fix the clipping issue. Like here. Hi, kitty. Look at that. Yeah, we need that fixed. In the worst way. Lady De Winter, welcome. So I am in a new world. And I am just doing... That goat came back. Dude, I'm gonna kill you at this rate. Get out of my house. Seriously? He just, like, ambles along. Like it's nothing. Really? Okay. Well, now he's dead. So we can get rid of him, at least. Oh my gosh. That was ridiculously hard. Okay. Alright, back to building. Back to building. I want to get the base laid in, and I'm thinking... Maybe 4. Yeah, because then there'll be stairs coming up. Yeah. 4 is going to be a good height for this. What I'll do is dig out the bottom. This will be like root cellar and I don't know, probably 1 or 2 other things. But then... Oh. And then the main floor will be on top of this. And we'll have a nice big porch on the front of it. Maybe actually doing a complete wraparound porch. I'll see. Okay. Alright, so this is good for the foundation. What do I want? Bench. To an extent, I may just be lazy and do more blocks for some of the basic flooring. I do like that one. It's a very nice light color. So I think we'll do that for kind of the main floor here. Oh, yeah, I'll bet. It's, oops. And of course I didn't switch over. It's hard doing anything with flooring. I definitely wouldn't want to. I say that I wouldn't want to, knowing full well that I'm going to have to do something with my floors in the next year or two. Oh well. That's a tomorrow problem, not a today problem. Yeah, even with those knee pads, sometimes it just doesn't, it's not quite as helpful as you would really like it to be. And it's getting dark and I don't want it to be dark. There we go. I do like that we can change our names now. That's nice. I can reset mine. Okay. It would be nice if we could select a larger area. That way, almost like the way that you do the removals, if we could do that, but with building. So if you know, for instance, that I want this whole area to have a floor made out of this particular kind of block, I could just go in and select the entire area and have it make the floor. That would be much faster versus what I'm doing here. This does end up being, yeah, a little bit time consuming. Not terrible. I mean, being in creative mode means I don't have to worry about running out of resources, which is really good. But it would still be kind of nice to be able to just be like, one click, boom, done, awesome. Okay. And one thing that I do want to try and do with this build, we'll see how it goes. It's kind of going to depend on my patience levels. I would like to try and not use any blueprints from anyone else. I want to see if I can do everything in this world myself, which is a little bit ambitious and a bit of a shame because some of the blueprints that other people have made are just amazing. But just kind of as a challenge to myself, I would like to see if I can actually do it all on my own. No taking shortcuts by grabbing other people's blueprints and dropping those in. Yeah, I'm sure that it's kind of an absolute nightmare right now getting all the flooring in and dealt with, but you just have to keep focusing on how wonderful it will be when you are done and you have all the new flooring in and it's going to look so good. You'll be so happy with it. That's what I had to tell myself when I tore up all my carpet. It's like, I will be so happy when I'm done with this project. It's going to be terrific to have it all completely finished. Yeah. Carpet's not the most fun thing to deal with in the whole world. Whoops, let go of the mouse button too soon. Little dots of glue, yeah. Yeah, I swear, when I took up all the carpet in my place, because I have a single wide too, a mobile home from the early 70s. And it seemed like they must have used 3 times the amount of glue necessary to put everything down. It was just horrible ripping it all out. But it was so nice when it was completely done, because that stuff was really old and really, really disgusting. Alright. We're getting there. We're getting there. Then I have to decide what I want to do for the walls. Because I don't want to do... yeah, I don't want to do stone for the walls. But I do want to kind of save the... I don't want to use the plank and beam construction system for the walls either. I am going to use wood blocks. Simplifying things a little bit. I'm going to be doing a lot of work with the plank and beam system, so in some areas I feel that it's not really completely necessary, and I am thoroughly boxing myself in here, folks. That's okay. That is what the fly feature is for. Well, that and to escape angry bears, right, lady? Oh, the dirt, I'll bet. I noticed that when I tore out mine. It was like years of accumulation of dirt under there. It was disgusting. I could not stop coughing. Master John! The guy who wants to watch the stream but is never on time. Well, hey, I'm glad that you made it today. Welcome. So I've started a completely new world, and I'm just going to have fun and do this all on creative. The idea that I want to go with is making a plantation, basically a big ranch. So I'm not going to try and actually make a town. Oh, that looks nice, but that looks way too nice to be an exterior wall. So right now I'm putting up the main, what will be the main house here. That looks weathered enough to be an exterior wall, I think. It's a little darker than what I want to go with. Yeah, I think that one's good. We're going to do that one. Oh, yeah. Well, sometimes depending on when you jump in, it can be hard. You're like, it looks like it's still up and running, and then you go to do something or say something, and it's like, no. No, it's done. It's over. And you're like, oh, okay, I did not realize that. I have done that several times. Especially if I get a notification that someone's live. So I go to jump on and say hi, and I don't realize that, you know, I got the notification hours ago and they're not live anymore. So I've been there, I've done that. Alright, now I need to decide my deck, because I want to start on the deck before I put the doors in. What would look good for the deck? What would look good for the deck? I don't want it to be the same one. That one. We'll do that one. Streaming to YouTube and Twitch? No. And see, I remember you mentioning that at one point in time, that you were going to try and do that. And I was going to ask you about it, and then I forgot about it. The textures need updating now. What do you mean? Let's see. 1, 2, let's see. How far out should the deck come? It's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It could come out 10. Okay. Nope. Need the Twitch key to add into OBS. By Twitch key, do you mean my streaming key? That code that you put in? Oh, yeah. Yeah, the textures could use a little work. But I'm trying really hard not to complain about small things. Because there are so many big things that I would love to see for this game that I feel like I don't want to distract from the bigger things by complaining about small stuff. Like, I'm sure he'll get to the textures. I'm sure that'll happen. I want horses. I really want horses, though. Let's see. Subnautica. No, Master John, I haven't, but it's on my list. I've gotten a few different, like 3 or 4 different games recently. Thank you, Steam sales. They are awesome. I love that Steam will have a sale for, pretty much no reason. It's kind of like oh, happy Friday, have a sale. I'm like, okay, that works for me. Really works for me. So I have a few new games that I want to record. So yeah, there's going to be new games hitting my channel. But for Rising World, I really, really would love to see horses. That's, at this point, I think that's kind of the biggest thing for me, is that I want to see horses in the game. OSTIV. A bit like Banished. Yes, there are several new games. I was actually watching a video on YouTube this morning where, the ones where they show new games coming this year for different genres. And one of them is Ancient Cities, which looks good. And then I don't remember if that OSTIV. I'll have to look into that because I like Banished. But some games are better for streaming and recording than other games. There's one of the games that I got that I'm having a lot of fun with. 91. But it's going to be a little difficult because it's very much early access. Like, people complain about Rising World being early access. Oh, they don't know what they're talking about. Oh. Another glue run. Well, have fun with that. But it is, oh gosh, Escape the Pacific, I think is the name. And it's a fun little game. I'm really having a lot of fun with it, but it's so early access that it doesn't have a save function yet. Now that is early access. So you literally, once you start, you're going to sit down and play all the way through because you can't save your progress. But it is a fun little game, and I look forward to seeing what they do with it. But that does make it really hard to, you know, stream or record any videos because you can't really start much of anything. That's nice. I really wish we could have different colors for the doors. I would like to see that. Really like to see that. I guess we'll go with that. There we go. Alright. And I'm going to do something around the edges with kind of like trim pieces, basically. Which one is not on Steam yet? The one that you were just talking about? There are several. I have a few things on my wish list that say that they're going to be released in 2018, but there aren't actually any dates for them yet. So I know, I think Ancient City is the one that I was talking about. That one kind of looks a little bit like Banished too. And I don't think that there is actually an expected release date on that yet. And there's another one. Oh, if I can remember the name. Frost Forge, I think. And I don't think there's a release date on that one yet either. But it's a little bit like Banished, just more modern. In that you have to build up a community to support your people and take care of them and everything. But that one, I've seen some videos on YouTube for that one, and it looks really interesting. Yeah. That come? Yes, that did come all the way. There we go. Okay. First floor skeleton is coming together. And this will, in some ways, this will kind of be a bit of a, you know, put up the frame for the building and then finish it. There we go. That would be floor 1. I'm trying to decide if I want to... how I want to do the windows. You know, I think I'll come back and do the windows later. Because I'm going to need to do the interior rooms before I know where I want to put the windows. So that's going to be... I'll do that at a later time. Yeah. I'm trying really, really hard not to get really sick. I keep waking up with like a really stuffy nose and scratchy sore throat, and it fades a little bit, but still coughing a lot and practically living on cold medicine. But I'm trying really hard not to not to end up getting really sick. Everybody at work, well, I shouldn't say everybody, a lot of people at work got very sick, and it seems like every time that someone is sick, they're out for almost a week. I'm just thinking to myself, I'm sorry, I cannot afford to miss a week's worth of work. So we're just not allowed to be sick. So keep fighting it with varying degrees of success. So if I spend a lot of time coughing, I do apologize. Come on. There we go. That's good. I'm glad that it's looking good. I really haven't... I fiddled around with a few things, and it does have some nice features. But I think what annoys me is not being able to stream at a higher quality. But it might be a little easier on my computer to not try and pull that off. You know, it's amazing. This computer's only, well, the primary components are about 3 years old. Some of the parts are older. Much older. But the primary components are about 3 years old now. And it's strange to think how fast they've become outdated. Like the motherboard and the CPU, they're ancient now in technological terms because of all the new stuff that has come out. And I look at that new stuff, I'm like, oh, that would be really cool. Yeah, no, that would be very expensive to upgrade because they've made it incompatible with anything else. So I would have to upgrade the CPU, the motherboard, and the RAM all at the same time. Like, that would be as much as my rent. Can't do that. It's outrageous how expensive it is. And then you spend all this money and it gets outdated so quickly. And it's getting dark again. I don't want it to be dark. Set time 9 a.m. What? What do you mean command not found? There we go. Probably didn't put the space bar in or something. You do have to enter it correctly if you want the expected result. Okay. Well, no, because, I mean, my graphics card is still perfectly good. My hard drives are perfectly good. And I built my computer because I couldn't afford to buy a gaming computer. So I just built one. And I built it with the intention of just being able to upgrade it. So it's a huge computer tower sitting on one of my desks. It takes up half the desk. And I will never really have to buy another whole computer again because I can just upgrade this one as I go, which is what I've done. I've added a second hard drive. I have a third hard drive that's on its way. Thank you, Amazon. I upgraded the graphics card a little over a year ago. So I have the room to do that because it's a full size. Well, no, technically it's not a full size tower. It's a mid-size tower, but it fits a full ATX motherboard. So I have plenty of room for upgrades down the road, which is good. Yeah. It really is just crazy how fast they become outdated. But in the long run, it's much cheaper to just build your computer than to try and keep buying a new one if you're doing gaming. Because a computer that can actually handle gaming with any kind of good quality is outrageously expensive compared to what it would cost you to just build the stupid thing. And if I had bought a gaming computer fully made, it probably would have been well over $2,000. And well, let's see. I put this thing together back in like early 2015. And granted, I reused a lot of parts from my old desktop. So I probably only spent around $600 at that time. Of course, I put more money into it since because I've upgraded it. But for what I got, it was a really good deal to just build instead of buy. Ooh. Wow. 8 cores, 12 cores, damn. Yeah, my CPU is nowhere near that level. Nowhere near. But, I mean, it does okay for most of what I do. And honestly, I could just upgrade the CPU, sticking with an older style, older version, instead of buying the latest and greatest and having to replace everything. Because there's nothing wrong with the motherboard. I do really need to upgrade the RAM, though. I only have 16 gigabytes of RAM, and that's not enough. I really do need the full 32 that the motherboard will support. So, that's on my personal wish list. Unfortunately, people talk about RAM being an inexpensive computer upgrade. I'm like, not when you're looking at 32 gigabytes of RAM. It's not. So I probably won't do it all at once, but it'll be nice when I can. Right now I'm just excited that I'll have a new hard drive soon because my primary hard drive is informing me that it's out of space if I actually want to have all my stuff on it. It's like, oh, well then, I guess we'll have to do something about that. Let's see. How tall did I make this? 5? You know, now that I look at this, I probably should have put this up higher. Oh, that's nice. $1,500 just on the tower build. Wow. But, you know, I can see that. I can completely see that. If I go on, like I use, it's pcpartpicker.com. So if I go on to that and just, you know, playing around, put together a parts list based on what I want, not what I can afford, it ends up being thousands of dollars. I'm like, ooh, gee, that'd be nice. We're not doing that anytime soon, but it'd be nice. Okay. We're gonna do... Yeah. That's a wonderful gift. I'm going to drop through the floor. And we're going to come down. We're going to delete. There we go. Okay. Now I'm going to have a taller ceiling. It occurred to me that I would like to have lights and stuff, and not the full-size chandelier that they have. That thing is outrageous. But I needed a little bit of a higher ceiling. The ability to remove blocks is very nice. I really do appreciate that. This really is... This is an absolutely wonderful building simulator. It kind of reminds me of all the hours that I used to spend playing The Sims, because I think I probably spent more time in those games designing and building houses for my Sims to live in than I did actually, you know, playing the game. Because it was so much fun to design and build, and I can make these really cute, adorable little cabins or these massive, totally unrealistic mansions, either way. And it was just a lot of fun. And now I can do the same thing. Basically. Except with way more detail. Way more detail. Okay. Oh yeah, I probably spent a good 3 to 4 months reading articles about building your own gaming computer, watching videos. Yeah. And then when I finally put the thing together, I got all the parts, I put it all together, and I was so nervous when I first turned it on because all I could think was, oh my god, what if I did something wrong and I'm going to push this power button and it's going to completely destroy my computer. But thankfully, it did not. My computer was perfectly fine, turned right on. I was like, oh good, I did it right. I was so relieved. Yeah, it's it does save you a ton of money though. Those so-called gaming computers that they sell are just not very impressive, honestly, in comparison to what you can make yourself for a fraction of the cost. Yeah. Yeah, having a good case that will let you have some really good cable management is very important. That's part of the reason that I bought such a big case. So that way I have room to work inside it without being cramped and messing things up. Yeah, I thought about it, but the only place that I could find near me that would do that, what they were going to charge was more than what I was willing to pay. So instead, I used the money to buy a couple of better components and just put the thing together myself. And I'm really glad that I did, because now I can also do all the upgrades myself. It's a lot easier than I thought that it would be, which is really nice. Okay. Thinking that I want to do some custom chandeliers in here. Of course, I can't really have anything that hangs down as far as the actual in-game chandelier. That's just not at all realistic. I wonder how people get... I wonder how they make the candles that actually emit light. Oh well. I can just use the lanterns and kind of build a chandelier around them, sort of. Sounds weird, but yeah. Let's do it that way. And of course, I'm going to have to break apart my ceiling when I actually go to put stairs in. But I want to get this in so I can figure out rooms. What I'd like to do today is manage to get, I guess, the overall skeleton in place. And then next week, start doing fine details. So hopefully that will work out. Fingers crossed. As I'm walling away the clouds. Coffee is a wonderful thing. It really, truly is. Okay. Yeah, I think this height will work much better. That'll give me the space to have some chandeliers up there. Perfect. Ooh, I wanted to do side pieces here. Now, let's see. Okay, yeah, definitely. Definitely. that's the porch. I want to hold on to that. 71. Yeah. Let's see. I want the doorway to kind of stand out a little bit. So I don't know that I really want to do white. That might make it stand out a little bit more than I want it to. But, yeah, I really think that'll make it stand out more than I want it to. Will that seal it up enough, though? Let's see. Yeah, I think it will. Okay. All right. I think this is probably far enough out for the porch. So now I need stairs coming off of it, and that was 90. So, yep, that one. Perfect. All right. I kind of like the full block stairs. So I think we'll do those. Yeah, we'll do those. Okay. And then I want it to be even with the doorway. Let's see if I got that. I think I did. Yep. All right, perfect. Now comes the really fun part. I have to get the stairs to come all the way down. So, long windows. Yeah. Okay. Why do I not have a great deal of light here? There we go. That's better. That's much better. There we are. Okay, and then the bottom one. Could do that. That'll make it uneven, though. Yeah. No, I don't want to do that because I want to have kind of a walkway coming up to it. All right, so we're going to call the stairs done. And then, get rid of that light. I'm going to take this down because I want to do something more decorative along the side of the stairs as they come down. But I am going to bring sandstone back into play. Just a different, oops, wrong one. There we go. Different type. Yeah, we'll do that one. This is going to be basically our walkways. Because again, living so close to the beach, I think it's reasonable to have a lot of sandstone. Now, part of me would like to do kind of a lattice work for the porch. The other part of me recognizes that that's insane. So we're not doing that. But back to 90. There we go. There we go. We're going to put these in. Really? It's dark already? I think part of it's just the angle that we're at. There we go. Being right next to the mountain here, I think that's probably what's doing it for the most part. Okay. These nice little supports. And I'll put more in between. I'll just figure those out a little bit later. Like I said, a lot of this right now, this is really just going to be the overall skeleton going in. Oh. Delete. Did I get everything? Sort of. And it's really nice how you can use the mouse keys to move these. There we go. Okay. Now, I don't think it needs to be quite that big. Okay. There we go. That looks, oops, a little bit more. Probably overdid it right there. That's okay. Okay. And we can even this out too. Actually, let's bring it out to about here. Right? Yeah, that looks good. Okay. There we go. Okay. Then oops. Definitely did not mean to do that. That's what happens when you are not paying attention to where your selection is. And this is how you fix it. Oh. And then I really don't need that to be that big. Wow. There we go. There. Okay. Now what I wanted to do was 3, paint. So I wanted this all to just be shorter grass. Much better. I want to be able to see what I'm going to be working with here. There we are. Okay. Well, those are some unlikely little friends. But I have noticed that the predators really don't seem at all interested in actually eating all the food that's basically wandering around. They're like, no, that's okay. We just want that one little person who's trying to survive. We just want to eat them. We don't really so much care about anybody else. Okay. So that will kind of be the end of our walkway. And starting, I don't know, roadway, pathway, what have you. Now, let's set that aside. Sure again, yeah. Okay. That's our wall material. So let's go up and do a second story and get the skeleton for that in. Thank you. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Wait, how big is this? There is 7 in between. Okay. So should go up one more. And then the roof on top. Hopefully I can do a good job of taking the idea in my head and turning it into something on screen. You know, it's going to be really funny if we ever actually have physics in this game, because that's not really going to work. Ooh, dinner. Yummy. Sounds good. And I don't even know what it is. That's because I didn't have breakfast. I never have breakfast, really. I have coffee. Coffee is my breakfast. Coffee is a very good breakfast. Reminds me, my coffee cup is almost empty. In a few moments, we'll have to take a short break so that I can get more coffee. Because without coffee, nothing happens. All right. I think I might do... Thinking kind of a small attic crawl space above this. Let's see, where's my floor? That was the porch. That's the interior floors. Okay. Yeah. So we'll just do a small attic crawl space above the second floor. And then kind of close it up a little bit. I might try and go ahead and get a roof put on. I would like to start the skeletons on a couple of the other buildings. Obviously, it's not all going to get finished. I'm only streaming for 3 hours, so it's... The whole thing will not be completed this morning. Not that that's really a shock. But... let's see here. Do you want to get a good framework set up so that you kind of know where things are going to go and a little bit of how things are going to look. That would be really nice to have that all set and in. Okay. Again, it would be kind of nice to be able to just lay in the entire floor. One quick and easy click. That would be really cool to be able to do that. Should start a wish list thread on the Rising World forums. Dear Red, the following items are on my wish list in order of priority. As though he doesn't already have, you know, enough stuff to work on. Okay. So if I'm giving the rest of the floors a spacing of 7, what would be the lowest spacing that I could do for the crawl space? Probably, what, maybe 3? Isn't that the height of the doors? 3 or 4 blocks would do it, I think. I'll have to measure. I will have to measure. Let's go do that. Four. Okay. So, let's Take that. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, if I just do 3, that'll be good, because then the roof will kind of come up. So I'm not going to do a flat roof. I don't want to do that. That would be boring. Not to mention the fact that, realistically, from a practical standpoint, most climates would be extremely inappropriate for a flat roof, because you want the roof to angle so that snow and rain will come right off of it. Actually, maybe we'll just do 2 and then have it angle from there, and this will be a real crawl space that we're going to have here. Go. Come on. Oops. Flying is convenient, but clipping into things as you fly is a little bit less convenient. Of course, I do know the solution. The solution is to not fly. Washing too, yeah. I have to actually go to the laundromat later today and do wash. Not really something that I want to do. I never want to do that. Okay. Floor in, and then we'll get the roof up. And I probably won't worry about filling in the outside walls. I'm going to chalk that up to detail work for next week. But once the roof on this house is up, I'm going to kind of start on some of the layout for some of the other buildings. I do want to do some large fields. So kind of get the outline for those put in. And then maybe the foundation for a barn. Kind of the roads to connect everything, or, well, pathways to connect everything would be more accurate. Not like they're going to be actual roads. Okay. Come on. We're almost there. Well, I say almost. It's really more like possibly halfway there. Oh. I also have to think about what I want to use for the roof. I don't want the roof to match the walls. That would be terribly, terribly boring. Maybe I'll have the roof match the trim around the door. And then when I put windows in, I'll do the same coloring for the windows. That'll kind of tie the whole color scheme together, so to speak. I think that'll probably, yeah. That'll probably work the best. Oh. Now I can say almost. Now I can say that it's almost done. It really is almost done. I'll have to look, and if you guys have seen, let me know, but I haven't checked lately to see if there's been anything else said about a possible time frame for transportation. My fingers are really crossed for horses. I think that would be the best, but I know that might not happen, but I'm still crossing my fingers. Skylight. I don't know about that. There's going to be really big, kind of like bay windows. Actually, I might have to see if I can really do something that would kind of look like bay windows. I might be able to. You never know. I'll have to experiment. Okay, so yeah, getting a little carried away. So the top will just be a basic crawl space. Because I don't think that it would be realistic to have it be too much taller. It's not like this is a modern skyscraper. So I do want to have a little bit of realism in terms of how far I'm going with this. Have a nice little crawl space, and then the crawl space will just have windows on either end of it. Oops. There we go. Yeah. Nice. Some work over here. Don't want to forget this side. As the cow walks down the side of the mountain. Now that's not a sight you see every day, folks. Unless, of course, you play Rising World every day. And then you do see that sight every day. Several times a day. Yep. Yeah, I'll try to get... What was it that worked last time? I think that the 2x2 grates are your best fencing options. I think. But I do want to try to give it... I want this to look like a functioning farm and ranch. So we'll have cattle, sheep, maybe some goats, some pigs. Try and figure out how to contain the little buggers. Horrible escape artists, every single animal in the game. Oh, yeah. Well, and of course, all the changes, the recent update, what was it, disabling the hive, really screwed up all the servers. I decided that I'm just really going to kind of stick with single player. That way I don't have to keep track of whether a server is up or down or what people are doing with their servers. Like, no thanks. I'm going to do single player, and then I just won't need to worry about it. And it will be wonderful. Not responding to messages. Oh, that's frustrating. Okay, let's see. Have to kind of try and do these evenly so that the roof looks somewhat even. Meets nicely. Of course, I didn't really check the length, so it might not meet that nicely. We'll see. Not the end of the world if it doesn't. Yeah. Yeah, you don't think about it too much, but boy, we're an awfully connected society anymore. So something goes wrong with your computer and all of a sudden you're not connected to the rest of the world. It's actually a pretty big deal. Oh. Coming along nicely. I'll knock out big sections of this wall later to put in windows down at either end. Yes, you can recreate anything and everything in this game. I do have to admire, there's, who is it? Goodness. I feel bad now, I've forgotten her name. Mama T, I think. But she's been doing a recreation of, what is it? Waldron Hall? Yeah, I think it's Waldron Hall. That, yeah, that looks really, really good. So I haven't ever tried to actually recreate a real place in a game, but I have a great deal of respect for people who do, because that looks immensely difficult. And depending on what you choose to recreate, yes, exactly. And she's really being incredibly detailed about that, which I think is awesome. But I'm not sure I would really have the patience, for one thing. And for another, I can just see people who live or work near whatever you're recreating who would just nitpick it to death. That, and the fact that for me, a big part of what's so fun about games like this is I can create anything that I want. So I can kind of kick reality out the door and make anything that I would like to, regardless of whether or not it happens to be realistic. Because sometimes realistic is just not that much fun. Like, no, sorry, I'm in the mood for something wonderful and totally based in fantasy, and had enough of the real world. Okay, the roof is coming together nicely. Once I get the roof together, I'm going to take a quick break because my coffee cup is almost empty. And I can't have an empty coffee cup. That cannot happen. So yes, in a few moments, there will be a coffee break. Okay. Oh my gosh. Look at that. It's actually going to be even. I'm going to have a nice peaked roof. That's great. I prefer those. Not that there's anything wrong with having it be a little uneven so you don't really get that full peak, but I do like it when I can actually have a fully... Oh, now I forget the technical phrase, term, whatever, but there we go. Look at that. Do need to kind of close these in because I'm going to figure out the windows later. Windows are going to be next week's problem, as are interior staircases and individual rooms and all sorts of other little things like that. Next week is going to be the details. This is just going to be skeleton. Oh yeah, flipping them around. Yeah. I will probably do that so that it looks a little bit more smooth and there's enough space that I'm really not worried about taking up space in that. I think it'll probably be just fine. Come on. There we go. Okay. Half finished house right there. Okay. All right. I'm going to go and get more coffee. And I will be right back. Of course, first I have to talk my cat into getting off of my lap. Come on, I really want to get more coffee. Come on, you gotta let me up. Yeah. Here. Sit on the back of the chair. You're fine. Yeah. I'm moving. He's displeased with me. All right. I will be right back, everyone. Yes, dear. All right. I'm back. Fresh cup of coffee. Oh. Yes, sorry. That's right. Your lap. Thank you. Curl up. My cat's over here. Awesome, you are back. Your lap belongs to me. Okay. So now I want to figure out where I'm going to put everything else. So I think the first step is going to be terraforming. First step for that is going to be vegetation removal. So, actually I want to go the other way. Again, the mouse keys are vastly helpful when it comes to this. Let's see. Get everything. I'm really going to want to go completely out. Was it right shift? Yes. Okay. Go out this way. There's going to be a lot of terraforming involved here because I just really want this to look very different than what it does right now. So, let's see. There we are. Now, we're on paint. Good. Yes. Don't want to cut away huge chunks. Terrain. Not yet, anyway. Okay. So, first I want to pick a location for fields. And I think those should be in this area. Possibly there. Yeah. I think over here will be a good location for fields. What? My cat is curled up in my lap, glaring at me. I don't know what I did, but clearly I did something wrong. Actually, it's probably because he's still mad at me because he was taking a nap until I got up to go get coffee. So he's probably still pissed about that. He'll stay pissed forever. He's good at it. Okay. Now, why am I not getting rid of all of that? All be going away. Seriously, like, you should all be going away. I should not see all those trees. Why do I still see trees? Shouldn't. Okay. Maybe it just took a while. Oh, it probably just took a while because it's so big. That's probably it. Over here going, I'm sorry, you have selected a huge area. You are going to have to sit down and wait. Be like, oh. But I don't do that. I want it to be instantaneous. Alright, so now let's work on terraforming. So, to an extent, I do want things to be fairly level. Fairly. I'm not exactly going to terraform the entire world. That's just really a lot of work. Besides, if I wanted a perfectly flat world, I would have just generated in, you know, the flat world. Okay. So, we're just going to go down in small steps here. I don't want any big drop-offs. I want things to be kind of a gradual changes in elevation, basically. Okay. But our elevation will decrease as we move away from the main house. So, oops, getting dark. So sorry. For what I'm doing, I require daylight. Now we'll go down again. I really do enjoy the ability to terraform in the game. I think that that is a really wonderful addition to the game, because in so very many ways, this is a game that lets you create anything that you can imagine. And in my mind, at least, a big part of that is being able to create any kind of land structure, any kind of landscape that you can imagine as well. So I think by giving us the ability to do that, I think Red has made the game even better, honestly. All right, let's go across to here. And then later I will kind of come back and smooth out these transitions here so that it looks better. But right now, I'm a little bit more concerned with actually getting a good framework and kind of having placeholders for where I want to put everything. Yes. Yes, it is. It's just a really wonderful feature to have. And I know that it's not strictly related to having a survival game. It's not strictly related to that. However, I think it really just adds another level of, in a way, another level of a challenge to the game, because it gives you something else that you can do, something else to basically challenge yourself with, that, in my mind at least, really adds to how replayable the game is. As much as I do enjoy those games that they have a campaign and they have quests and there are goals for you to complete, in a way that's fun, but it does mean that once I have completed the campaign and basically beaten the game, and I think I just closed a sheep up, there's nothing else for me to do in the game, and then the game becomes boring. Whereas with this, there's always something else to do. It's like, okay, well, congratulations, you have learned how to survive in the game. That's great. Now learn how to build yourself a mansion. Now work on terraforming. So there's always something else, and there's always a different way that you can kind of combine everything together that just makes the game incredibly replayable, in my mind at least. Okay. Kind of even that stuff out later. Let's go look at our edges here. There we go. Yeah. I don't really know how big of an emphasis I'm going to put on mining in this build, and I'm sure that I can find another cave, so that one's going to kind of get covered up to an extent. Don't really care about having it right there. Oops. Okay. Take out small chunks here. Kind of run back along the edge real quick. Make sure this is all nicely level. Then I'm going to go back and add in, or remove rather, the vegetation that's still there. And I don't know that I necessarily want nice straight roads. Not terribly concerned about that. So I might put in the outlines for the fields first, and then come back and kind of weave the road through the fields. I think that'll look better. And let's see, I really want all this vegetation gone. Gone, gone, gone. I will come back in later and I will put in vegetation. So it's not like there won't be any trees or flowers or anything like that. There will be. Just, you know, they'll be where I want them to be, not where they want to be. Okay. And the game's kind of going to have a minor temper tantrum because I'm selecting a huge area, which it does, like, the game engine takes a while to recalculate when you make changes this big. But if your computer's good enough, it can do it. You just have to accept that it's going to take it a couple of minutes. There we go. Okay. Now let's go down here. Select a smaller area. Okay. And then we'll move over here. Clear off this part. I don't really know what I'm going to do about the elephants and the giraffe and all that. So they're not strictly... There we go. There's not necessarily any reason for me to have exotic animals. So, I don't know what I'm going to do about those. I'll figure that out later. I will. I will figure that out later. Well, what do you mean by this style of gameplay? Doing everything in creative mode? Let's see here. Okay. All right. Boundaries for fields. I want them to be raised a little bit, so I am going to use like the cultivated farming blocks. But I also want them to have a bit of a boundary. I think I'll use that. Just kind of pull those out of the way. We'll use that. So, I want large fields. And we'll kind of have them start over here more. Oh, yeah. Well, honestly, the way that I'm doing this, I think it's probably fine for a live stream when I'm going to be working on this for several hours at a time. You know, if people are bored, they can leave. And I know a lot of them do, because I can see the the stats change. But in terms of doing like Let's Play videos, people are probably a little leery about doing anything like this because this doesn't really work so well in like a 20-minute video. This isn't necessarily going to go over as well. People don't necessarily want to sit and watch it for 20 minutes. They want to actually see something, I guess, being accomplished. So I think that's probably why a lot of people don't do it. But I think that it would be helpful if more people, I don't know, kind of did, tutorials or something. Let's see. So 19 would be 20. Because I know a lot of people have questions about how to actually do any of this. Because if you don't see it done, it can be really hard to figure out what to do with it. 30, there we go. I'm going to have to fence in my fields because otherwise little things like that guy are going to trample all over them. Granted, at the moment, that really doesn't matter. Like, your crops will grow regardless of what you do to them, I guess, is maybe the best way to put that. Like, Lady de Winter, you were mentioning trying to make sure that your crops were watered. Well, right now they really don't need to be. In my other build, I have a greenhouse that's all glass roof, and there's no irrigation system in that. So anything in there just doesn't really get watered, and everything still grows fine. So right now, you really don't have to worry about trying to make sure that crops are irrigated. That might become a thing later. Who knows? I imagine that Red has a lot of plans for the game that we probably don't know anything about yet. Let's see. How much space am I putting in between these? Trying to do about 10? Okay. Yep. So... Right. That would put it 10 over. Then how far up do I really want to go? I'm trying to kind of keep spacing in mind. I don't want to have all the fields look the same. Oh yeah, he did really great videos on what was I watching his videos for? The posters. How to get those in. And how to use those for things. That was really great. I really enjoyed what he did with that. That was very helpful. Well, look, that was the white goat that I just went past. Yeah, I haven't seen anything from him in a while. Okay. Yeah, a little bit more terraforming required here. And I am going to go back and, like, smooth all that stuff out. Because if I don't, it's going to drive me crazy. I swear I'm not actually OCD. But with some games, it's like I become OCD. Okay, that's 12. It has plenty of space for a corner here. And then... about 11. and then 13. So really, if we did here, 12, that would be 10. That would be about 10. Did there. I want to have, part of what I'm trying to think of as I'm doing this. Yeah, his construction videos were super helpful. So I'm trying to think of the possibility of transportation at some point. Like, are my pathways going to be wide enough that I could take a horse and cart down them to collect crops? Kind of that kind of a thought process is what I'm doing as I'm kind of going through this. Because hopefully soon, very soon, I hope, we will actually have the ability to do that. So I want to kind of, you know, try and keep that possibility and that likelihood in mind. All right. Let's see, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's do 2 more. Yeah, I think 2 more fields would be a good thing. Because I do want this to really legitimately seem like this is a major plantation, major farm here. So, gotta have some really good sized crop fields. And more terraforming will be required. You know what? Can I? Objects, constructions, blocks, or all? So I think that means what if I do all? What if I were to do all? Never mind. Okay, so what I was just attempting to do there was figure out if I can just get rid of the animals, and I can't. So they are hanging out, which means I'm going to have to figure something out with that later. Okay, here is where we are terraforming. Go. There we go. Sorry guys, I'm thoroughly changing your landscape here. You'll get over it. And if you really don't like it, feel free to relocate. Feel free to relocate. I did not think about the fact that it probably would have been a good idea to just turn off animals before starting. But that's okay. That is okay. I will work that out later. Oh. Let's see. How far over can we go here? Yeah, that's probably it. Yeah. I could try. I guess I don't feel like an expert at this game, aside from like the really basics. I did just more kind of for fun than anything else. I did a little guide on Steam for Rising World. But I didn't go into a huge amount of detail, partly because it's really hard to go into a lot of detail when you're typing out a guide. So, yeah, I did not do that. But videos would be a much easier way to make guides. Okay. So, I want dirt or gravel for the roads. What do I want to do? You know, maybe the roads around... Where's my dirt? There we go. The roads by the fields will be dirt. And then kind of up by the house, that will be gravel. A little bit nicer looking. I'll probably do kind of a main road that looks like it's headed off towards the ocean. Like that's how they're transporting their crops. I don't know that I'll actually really do anything towards the ocean. I might. We'll see. We'll see. There's a lot to do. Yeah. And I guess maybe I could do them for some of the... like the terrain editing features and stuff. Where I really don't want to try and make tutorial videos is when it comes to building anything complex, because there are people out there who are so much better with the plank and beam construction system than I am. So I feel like I really should not be trying to make tutorial videos on that, because I'm nowhere near as good as some of these other people are. But for some of it, you know, like the terrain editing, yeah, I might think about doing that. Okay. Alright, so there's the outlines for our fields. Nice little roads going through them. I could probably add in a few more things in terms of the roads. Yeah, have it go along here because there's a good chance that these would get expanded anyway. And it would probably be really convenient to be able to take the horse and buggy all the way around the field instead of just part way. So, oh, well, thank you. I really do. I appreciate the feedback, because you know how you think of something and in your mind it seems like a great idea, and then sometimes you tell someone else and they're like, why would you do that? That's ridiculous. So sometimes it's hard to know if it's legitimately a great idea, or, you know, if I've lost my mind. So it's good to have the feedback and have somebody else look at it too and go, yeah, no, that's good. That actually does work. Okay, let's take all this out. It's going to irritate me to no end having it here, so it's all going to go away. All going to go away. Up to about there. Go a little bit further out. No, that's probably good. As I talk myself through what I want to do. Yeah, I don't want vegetation floating in the sky either, so all that's going to go away. It is kind of funny when you terraform and you remove land and like the animals just plummet. Although, interestingly enough, I have not tested this, so this is just a theory. I don't know if this is accurate or not, but when animals fall into caves, they do sometimes die from fall damage. They take fall damage too. But when you're terraforming and, you know, decide that that giant hillside is no longer necessary, I see them fall, but I don't think I've ever actually seen them die from it. So, like, that's kind of interesting to me. Like, really? So what I'm doing here doesn't count in some way, shape, or form? Since they can't seem to take any fall damage from it? I don't know. Interesting. Interesting little observations that you make when you spend enough time in-game. And you start to notice all these little things. You're like, oh, well, that's an interesting random thing. Wonder what happened there. Gee, that's another interesting random thing. I wonder why that is. Okay. I do want this all to be green. I know it's unrealistic as we move towards the desert. Well, it's not really the desert. It's just the savanna. So we're just moving the savanna out a little bit. It no longer starts as far in. There we go. Come on, a little bit more. A little bit more. I say a little bit more, watch, I'll terraform the entire thing. That would be me. Okay. Now, we're going to smooth this out. Just kind of gently. I don't want... Well, you know, maybe, depending on how the connections are working, I can have you jump into my world and join me at some point. Lady and I are planning on playing together. She's going to have me on one of her streams coming up at the beginning of next month is what we're planning on. Now, I know that she was doing... She did a quick test stream with, I think it was Small Archangel, showing that with great distances, people who have a lot of distance between them really can't play together very well. It just doesn't sync up correctly. Oh yeah, I know what you meant, yeah. But I don't know if Red has fixed that yet, because she made the video to show him what kind of errors they were encountering. And I don't know. I guess we'll find out if she and I will have any problems, because she's basically on the East Coast and I'm almost out on the West Coast of the US. So, yeah, exactly. So we'll see how much distance is okay and how much causes problems. You never know. You just never know. And I don't know, for some reason, it seems like lately my internet's been having issues. But it's not like it's my equipment or anything, because when I call in, they're like, oh yeah, the internet is down for everybody in this area at the moment. Oh, dinner. Sounds nice. Aw, there's a kitty cat stuck down there. I'm gonna make him even further down, really. Okay. Alright, I think that'll probably work well. Just kind of go back through and paint real quick. Want this all to look lush and green. And I am sort of ignoring the giant hole in the ground, I know. That's okay. I'll worry about it later. Similarly, I will momentarily take care of all this vegetation that's in the way and now looks thoroughly unrealistic. Okay. Okay. There we go. That looks good. Now, let's get rid of all of this stuff. Starting point, starting point, starting point. We'll go there. Okay. And this is where fly mode and the mouse keys really come in handy. I can make sure that I have a really good field of vision of everything that I'm deleting. And then I can just use the mouse keys to move it where I want it. Let's see, anything down below? Yes, there's definitely going to be stuff below that. Okay. Now, we're going to change the starting point over there. I'm going to try not to do too big of a chunk at once because, like I've said, the game engine doesn't particularly care for that. It'll do it. It just won't do it happily. It's basically how that ends up going. And we'll go all the way over here. Now, getting all this stuff that I left floating in midair, this is going to be fun. This is going to be a lot of fun. So, there we go. That take care of everything in there? Yes, it did. Let's see, we're going to switch up our starting point and go this way some more. All right. This is going to be a very nice big farm, ranch, plantation, kind of using terms interchangeably. But I do want it to be very large. I will probably do a substantial amount of terraforming still. Let's see. Let's come this way a bit. Takes it a little while to move when I'm just using the directional keys. But it'll do it. It'll do it. Okay. Come almost up to the house. There we go. Okay. That takes care of all the vegetation. There is a little bit more terraforming to do. Let's make sure that we're at the right height. Yes, we are. Nope. There we go. Oops. All right. A little bit smaller. Okay. Just one moment. My phone is shrieking at me here. Oh. Text messages that are not as important as the sender thinks that they are. That's usually the case, isn't it? People are like, I sent you that text message. It was super important. And you're like, well, it didn't say anything about anybody dying, so it didn't seem that important, actually. Okay. Alright, let's go up a little bit. Ooh, nice. Does sound good. Let's see, it's 11 o'clock here. So, yeah, I mean, I am going to stay on until noon today, so, you know, about another hour. Got a lot to do. then I'm going to go eat. I think I'm just going to have leftovers. Quick and easy. I do enjoy leftovers. Anything I can just throw in the microwave and have ready in minutes is really good. Not that I necessarily mind cooking. I really don't. I actually frequently would rather cook than go out to eat. Just because when I cook, my food turns out the way that I want it to, instead of the way that somebody else thinks it should. But I do enjoy how nice and easy leftovers make life. Okay. I do tend to go a little bit crazy with the terraforming. But it's so nice and easy. It's really simple to do massive changes with terraforming. I love it. Yes, another hour. I really do want to get in. I want to have a good outline of where everything is going to go. So, and this is really kind of going to take up a lot of space, but if you think back to when, you know, giant ranches and farms and plantations were really, I guess, a thing, back in those days, they didn't worry about space. They didn't have to. They had all this space. So things were very spread out and far-flung because they could be. You know, why not? So that's kind of what I'm going for here, is very spacious, very open. You know what this game needs? This game needs coffee plants. We need to be able to grow coffee plants. Dear Red, I would like to be able to make my own coffee in-game, so if you could get right on that, please. Okay. That's something that I'm also really looking forward to, is actually being able to cook in-game. I think that will be very fascinating. Poor Lady De Winter. That will probably be much less fascinating for her because she just doesn't have good luck with cooking. No, I am not. I'm not on Serenity anymore. I'm not going to be. I'm done with that. Some of the people on there are really nice. Others are less so, and I have more fun playing in single player mode than I do on the server. So I was just like, you know, I'm not really getting anything out of this. So I'm not going to do it. I'm just going to stick to my nice single player game where I can do whatever I want. And a lot of the recent updates have caused a lot of difficulties for the servers in general. So instead of trying to, well, I want to just be able to log on and play my game. I don't want to have to worry about what's going on with the server. Let's see here. How far out do I want to go? Probably pretty far out, actually. So let's put our starting point there. And, ooh, yes, there's all sorts of things. Look at that vegetation, just kind of hanging out in midair there. Yeah. Time for you all to go away. Yep. I'll just go sideways really, really far. Oops, it's gonna have to come up too. Got to catch everything. Okay. There we go. Excellent. I think that probably, I say probably, watch, I'll change my mind, but that probably takes care of our terraforming for the most part. I mean, there'll be small things. Don't get me wrong. I'm not legitimately saying, oh, look, we're all done. All the terraforming is finished. Doesn't it look great? No. No, we're definitely not all done. It's an adorable thought. Let's see. I think we're gonna have yeah, I think this is gonna come up. See, not done with the terraforming because some of this is gonna have to get changed. There we go. And I will change, well, I can just do it now. What am I talking about? I will change it later. No, let's do it right now. Okay. The nice road in front of the main house and kind of the, I guess, main road, this one I'm going to do in gravel. Everything else, though. Everything else is going to be dirt. Because it just wouldn't make sense to have, you know, this really nice. Okay, we're going to see how well I can make this happen. Actually, it's not going to be a nice little corner. It's not. Happy thought, not happening. Going to be a dedicated turn. Okay. So that's really just kind of going to head on out towards, you know, whatever. Come on, where's the dirt? There we go. There we go. That'll get terraformed correctly later. But, let's see. Okay. Stable. The stable's going to be next, and I want a little bit more space for it. So, let's see. Are we at the right? Yep, we are. Okay. We're going to have probably the main stable here, kind of in front of the house. And then I figure out where I want the bunkhouses to go as well. Let's see. I'm sorry, I'm going to need you to be filled in. There we go. Yeah, I'm not really planning on putting much of an emphasis on mining, and if I do, there's like mountains all the way around me, so not really concerned about having an entrance for any kind of a mine. We just won't even worry about that. No mines. Sorry guys, you're all getting covered over. Okay. Alright, so we could have, I want to have a little bit of space, open space along here so that I can have small, I'm trying to think of the right word. It's not a corral, but it's almost like a little run off the end of each stall for a horse. So we're going to have those off there. Here, actually, here. What am I going to use for a good outline? That. Alright. I'll use that for an outline. So, along here, let's not try and fly. That won't really go well. This will be a little bit further over. No, because I'm gonna, yeah. No. I will be flattening all of that, so it does not matter. Okay. Let's go out here. And then I want to have a nice, good-sized corral on that end. And then over here will be the stable. And once I actually start building a lot of this, the sizing is probably going to be adjusted. But for the time being, let's see here. Yeah, let's take that one end off. Okay. This whole entire area will be a couple of corrals and a stable. So, let's go all the way over here. And this big stable here, this will be for horses, which we'll hopefully have soon. I really, really hope. And then there'll be other barns, like somewhere back along there. I'm going to put like a dairy barn. We'll have some corrals. Various things like that. Let's see, what else do we need? A bunkhouse. Oh my gosh. Completely almost forgot about that. This huge place that we're creating, this is obviously going to need a lot of farmhands. So we're going to need some place for all of those farmhands to live. All right. So that whole giant enclosure there will be a barn and like 1 or 2 corrals. Maybe one at each end or something like that. Then let's do the bunkhouse next. And that should be in a different color as well, or a different texture, whatever you want to say. Wow, that looks like pressboard. That really does. That looks like that particular block, ID 93, that looks like pressboard. Wow. Okay. Anyway, I'm getting sidetracked. So, let's see here. I think we're going to have a little bit more distance than normal. So, yeah, probably. This is probably going to be a good spot. And we'll give them like their own kitchen and dining room and stuff like that, because in reality they would not be dining with the bosses up at the big house, which you now cannot see because it's too far away. So we want to make sure that they have a pretty good sized bunkhouse here. Probably be a couple of stories. The first story will have, oops, there we go. The first story will have like kind of the more common areas, and then maybe a couple of larger rooms like the, what do you want to say, the supervisor and family maybe. And then we're going to need to do some more terraforming. And then upstairs there will be smaller rooms for those who are not supervisors and do not get to have a lot of nice space. We're just going to kind of cut out this whole hill here, as long as I'm terraforming. Whoa. Nope, that is actually... Is that seriously all? Oh my gosh, it actually happened. Whoa, I just hit my microphone. That was dumb. That giraffe actually just died from fall damage. All right, so it does happen. Answered my question. Apparently, I just wasn't knocking out big enough hills. There went that one. Could be that they're more fragile. Of course, I haven't dropped any of the other animals from such a height, so who knows? All right. And yeah, I know, at this point, I really might as well have just picked a flat world, generated a flat world. I know. I wasn't really thinking that my terraforming would be quite this excessive. Thinking that, you know, I might do a small amount of terraforming, but not too much. Yeah, well, clearly I'm wrong, and that was a vastly inaccurate assumption on my part, because I'm doing a lot of terraforming. And you never know. Depending on what else I decide to do, I might do even more terraforming. And you know what? I want to know what you get from these guys, so... Wait, seriously? Like, nothing? Oh, there we go. Inventory. Oh, you do actually get a giraffe pelt. Okay. I don't want a giraffe pelt. But, cool. Okay. Back into... see here. I needed to go further back this way, didn't I? Yes, I did. Yes, I did. Oops, that giraffe fell. The giraffes are not doing well lately. Seriously? Like, look at that, guys! It is a floating elephant! Oh my gosh. Floating elephant. Wonder if that's a new breed of elephant. Look, everyone, found a new species today. Okay. Now I should, now that I have, like, demolished this hill, I should probably be good. Fill everything in here. Because, again, mining is not really in plan. That drop, that... he's just going to be stuck there. Okay. I don't have the heart to leave him. At least not where I can see him. Oops. Other way. Okay. Bye-bye. Thanks. Thanks for playing. I just really didn't want to, you know, watch you. There we go. Okay. Now it looks smooth. Yeah, and that's, you know... I really do enjoy survival mode. I really do. I think it's fun. Partly because you then have to adjust what you can make based on what you have managed to accumulate. But sometimes I really just want to build and make stuff, and I don't want to wait to have resources and assemble things. I'm like, no, I just want to build. I'm not feeling patient today, so we're just kind of jumping straight into everything. And I think it's that way with a lot of games that you can download mods for. For instance, City Skylines. You can download mods that completely change the game experience, or you can play without mods and have to actually work for everything. And both ways are fun. It just really kind of depends on the mood that you're in that particular day. So it's really nice to be able to have that option where you can say, yes, today I am a hardcore survivalist. I am going to, yeah, spawning stuff in is way faster a lot of the time. Of course, then I go and do things like decide to do a giant amount of terraforming and then have to go and like finish correcting it all because I leave behind these nasty looking cliffs when I'm done flattening the land, but oh well, right? It is what it is. And it's really nice that we can do so much terraforming. I really do appreciate the fact that Red really hasn't placed a lot of limits on what we can do with this game. I mean, he's kind of provided us with a platform to create whatever we can imagine, which is really great because, yes, her way of playing, using the seasons like that, that is really, really interesting. A really great way of adding another layer of challenge to the game. Because let's face it, with the way a lot of the survival settings are right now, like with my other world, I have enough food stored away that I don't ever have to hunt or grow anything. Except cotton, because, you know, you go through a lot of that when you want to make clothes and stuff. But for the most part, I don't have to worry about the actual survival aspect of the game because I have so many resources already. So the way that Lady is playing is really great because of that challenge of, like, all of a sudden your resources are more difficult to get and you have to put a little bit more planning into it and think about how you can make this happen. So I think that that's really, I think it was a brilliant idea on her part to play that way. And it's very fascinating to watch her play like that. I personally would not want to because here in Montana, our growing season is really a joke. So unless I could say that something in the game counts as like winter wheat, yeah, I'm not really doing much of anything with that. Okay. Alright, I think... I know, I have said this so many times, but I think that probably good on terraforming until I decide that I want more space. That's kind of the, I guess, the downside to playing purely creative mode is I'm not bothering to think about, oh, how can I make this work with my current landscape? I'm just like, I want this, the landscape is in my way, the landscape is going to be changed. End of story. There is no make it work with. Oops, and it's getting very dark. Okay. Boy, that set time feature is really nice. Super convenient. Yeah, that's Twitch. It only keeps the videos for a certain amount of time before they're removed. So that's really kind of just a function of Twitch. And it's really just not bright enough. There we go, that's better. Because when you think about it, Twitch is a streaming platform. It's really not a... It's not YouTube. It's not designed to store videos for extended periods of time. So yeah, after, and now I forget how much time, but after a certain amount of time, the video just goes away. Let's see. I promise I'm not terraforming. Okay. Let's finish out. Oops. Make our road a little bit bigger here. Okay. Go a little bit further back. I don't want to go too far. Let's see. Yeah, and see, I haven't been saving. I haven't been recording as I'm streaming. But I could take a look and see if I can pull the live streams off of Twitch, download the file, and upload it to YouTube. I could take a look and see if that's a possibility. I might do that. And then they'll be on YouTube for everyone to go back and see if they would like to. Let's see. All right, so let's think about what we have so far here. We have the main house. We have the fields. We have the outline for the corral and the barn for the horses. We have the outline for the bunkhouse. We do need more. We need pastures. Okay. Which are going to be such fun to actually make effective pastures. Okay, let's use the same texture we did for the horses barn. Go over here. And let's do, this will be like dairy barn probably. So that puts it at 40. And then this one will just be kind of really long. Really, really long. There we go. Figure out a way to get rid of all the animals that are already here that I don't want here. Because obviously, running them off with the rolling pin is not super effective. I could always just grab the gun and shoot them all. I just feel bad about that. I'm like, it's not like I want you all dead. I just want you all to, you know, not be here. Okay. So now where are we at? Let's see. Okay, that's the bunkhouse. Let's have the road come around the back of the bunkhouse. I just really want to make sure that I keep my spacing somewhat consistent. Let's see. That's probably a good spot for like a run, basically, into the barn to bring the cows in. Okay. So, if we do that, yeah, this would be like the run that they can bring them in from the pasture. And then, okay, all this stuff is now irritating me, so we're going to have to pause for a quick moment and do a bunch of deleting. Let's go this way first. Well, I'm really glad that you enjoy them enough to rewatch. That makes me really happy. Okay, up and over. Why is that tree still there? Still see the tree. I didn't get it. Okay, now if I come over here, move the endpoint over to here, and yeah, go all the way over, all the way over, all the way over, all the way over. There. Okay. I think I probably got pretty much everything. Except that one random, two random, a few random things that I missed. I'll go, yeah, no, they're not close enough. They're not close enough. I'm not worrying about them. And there's stuff up there that I missed too. Awesome. Okay. All right. So now we're going to need a pasture for the cattle. That elephant is still standing in midair. Like, just hanging out up there. That's the weirdest. That's a really weird little glitch. He's just like, no, that's okay. I'm just hanging out here. No worries. Don't worry about me. Perfectly happy. Standing in the sky. Weirdo. Dude, elephants are not supposed to stand in the sky. Didn't anybody tell you that? We're going to bring this all the way over. Because we will have to have pastures for more than just the cattle. Like, he's not standing on anything. He's just hanging out. That is so weird. So weird. We're going to go ahead and get rid of these little things while we're here. There's nothing supporting him, seriously? There's nothing. Not one single thing is supporting this guy. He's literally standing in midair. Hey buddy, do you walk on water too? That is so crazy. Okay. Back to the pasture. Let's see here. So probably separate this out about halfway. We'll go a good 100. There we go. And then, honestly though, we could probably go further out than that. Maybe I'll leave that open-ended. Just kind of a reminder that I'm not really sure how far out I'm taking that. I have not decided. This one. Let's see. Yeah, about even with the building. Yep. And then we'll go out. Way out. Probably will take it farther out because that's really going to require more space. So, let's see here. What else do we need? Actually, let's do another pasture off of here. Another corral, more than an actual pasture. Seriously, I just lost all that? Ah. Finger cramp. That's what happens. That is what happens. The forest. Is that a specific game? Okay. So there's another little corral alongside the barn. That might become smaller corrals later. We'll see. We'll see. Okay, I will look into that. The forest. Okay, I will look that up. Let's see. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? Flip over. There we go. Some of these. Let's see. I'm trying to think. Do I need any more barns, or do I just need a few more pastures? It's a great crafting game with a few murderous mutants involved. Okay. Sounds interesting. I'm not going to do anything there. I don't know what that's going to be. Let's actually have... Make you a bit smaller. Have just kind of this narrow little walkway in between two pastures. That's what we'll do here. There we go. So, let's see, we'll take some of this out. I don't think I really need any more barns. I think that I just need to do more pastures and corrals, because then I can just do small shelters inside them, basically. I think that'll be a little bit more realistic, rather than having a barn for every animal that they're raising. Okay, yeah, sounds good. Let's see. What else? Yeah, I really think it's just going to be a couple more pastures to put in. Let's see. Ooh, let's do... We'll have another little, I don't know, access way, walkway, whatever you want to call it, in between the pastures. And of course, I can always section the pastures off into smaller ones later. And some of these I really am just going to leave totally open-ended, because I don't know exactly how big I'm going to want it to be. Yeah. Let there be light. We want to actually see what we're doing. Ooh. I want to be careful about Okay. I want to be careful about getting too close to the crop fields, because I may want to expand them later. Perfect. I see the link. Okay. Actually, depending on, I will probably definitely want to expand the crop fields later, so I should be careful of overdoing it. Okay. So, cute little head shake there. Let's go out from here. As I cut through the world like crazy, I know. Yeah, not that far out, because then I'm going to have to do more terraforming. All right, we're going to leave that open. We're going to kind of leave that mostly open. I don't want to start more terraforming. Let's see. Let me cut across here. Kind of cut these up into smaller pastures, basically. There we are. That can be another thing. That can be another thing out there. Who knows? I might get really ambitious and try and do more terrain editing inside the pastures. Maybe give them some interesting details. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. I do also have to put in the other major terraforming thing that I'm going to be doing, is putting in some kind of a creek. Because we definitely need to have some water in here. So I will definitely be doing that. Might put in... Okay, there's a little pathway through there. I think the pathways are looking pretty good. So I think that's good. Where do I want to have a little creek? And I really do mean little. I don't want a giant thing. Okay. That's probably good. Now, let's do... The problem is, you're pretty much stuck with basically straight lines on this, which is unfortunate. And we're going to end up with a little bridge over the water. Oops. Okay, there we go. All right. Now I'm going to turn fly mode off, because when you're doing anything that's going to involve water, like this, eek, it's very easy. Move your mouse and have problems. And if you just hit F2, then you can walk right through stuff. Really convenient. Okay. And I will have to kind of come back to it later and do some correcting before I actually put water in. So it's definitely not really ready for water just yet. But real quick, I will show you guys how I'm going to have water in here, basically. Okay. Hi, you're gonna drown. You might want to leave. So 3 for paint. Oh, not F3. All right. We're gonna start way over here. because it doesn't really matter if it doesn't look great. So, actually, first off, I'm just going to even this up a little bit. Yeah. There we go. Oops, grass. Nice and even. Now, a lot of the time when I'm doing this, it's because I'm putting in like a canal. Yeah, that's the word I want. Wow. Clearly it's time for me to have lunch because I can't talk anymore. But I'm putting in a canal, so I'm building canal walls. So it doesn't really so much matter if, you know, it's not really perfect, because I'm coming through and evening it out when I put the canal walls in, and then it looks like it's perfect, which is really awesome. But for the purposes of irrigation and water for animals, I'm not doing that. So it's really just going to be what it is. We're going to smooth these out a little bit because I don't want anything falling in and then not being able to get back out. And I'm going to finish basically this little area right here so you guys can see what I'm doing. I know that water is difficult for some people, so now I want it to be a different color. Personally, I prefer gravel instead of dirt as a bottom for my water. It's nice, it's visible, it's easy to see what your terrain looks like, it's easy to see that it's very different. You can do mud, you can do dirt, you can do anything you want. So, we're going to go into water. Now here's the part that I think sometimes screws people up. You don't want to just click. You want to enable your leveling grid and then bring it to the level that you want your water to be at. Then, just make it big. And now you can add in water. And it's just going to add it to the level that you put it at. And now I have water. Presto. So next week, or the week after, it depends on how well we do with details, I will be going around and finishing up this little irrigation canal, stream, whatever you want to call it. But that's what it's going to be. Presto. And now you have water. And when you put in water, it's not salt water. I don't know if it changes if you are like expanding onto an ocean, like if you terraform around an ocean to create a little inlet, a moat. Yeah. This is going to be my moat that's going to wander throughout our build here. So yeah, I don't know if when you like create a little inlet or a bay off of the ocean, if it knows that that's like part of an ocean and it becomes salt water. I don't know. I haven't experimented. But all right. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap things up, call it a day here. We're going to do a quick little flyover of what we've accomplished here, our nice outlines for our fields, the roads, pathways going in between the fields, outlines for pastures. That would be I think the elephant is still standing in the sky over there somewhere. But that would be the bunkhouse. This is where the horse stable is going to be. And then, of course, the main house up here. Well, thank you very much, Hansen. I'm going to check out that other, well, okay. First, I'm going to go make myself some lunch. And while I'm eating, I'm going to check out that game. And then, yeah, I will watch for the video that you're thinking of posting later and check that out too. All right. Thank you very much, everyone, for hanging out and watching and commenting. And I will see you all next week.